This is the first Kelmscott edition of the works of Geoffrey Chaucer, printed in Hammersmith in 1896, and it's a magnificent copy. My name is Adam Douglas, and I'd like to show this copy to you in all its glory. Let me get a cushion here so I can show you the book itself. The Kelmscott Press was owned by William Morris, and this really is the high point of the arts and crafts movement in printing. It's one of the most beautiful books of the 19th century. Here's the opening spread. We see straight away that it's illustrated by the pre-Raphaelite artist Edward Burne-Jones. There are actually 87 of his illustrations throughout the book, and this magnificent vine leaf decoration around the opening spreads. As we go through, we see that every little detail has been thought through. The red printing here in the side notes, and these wonderful woodcut capitals introducing each section. We were lucky enough actually to have a proof that Morris had been drawing these woodcut initials. When I first saw this book, I assumed that maybe there would be 26 different initials, but in fact, even on this page, you can see that the A here is different to the A here, and Morris designed dozens of different designs for each of these letters. So as we go through, the book periodically opens out into these wonderful double-page spreads. Every single detail of the book was thought through. The paper is wonderful linen paper. By this stage in the 1890s, commercial book producers were beginning to put wood pulp into their paper, which goes acidic and brown, but this is pure linen paper. Morris even designed the watermark for it, which he based on a 15th century original. And so the book has all that craftsmanship of the medieval era, but brought up into the 19th century with these beautiful designs. The type was designed by Morris. All the Kelmscott Press books are printed in types designed by him or close associates of his, but this is his masterpiece, and it's the finest, the largest book of the press. It took 4 years to make the whole book. Burne-Jones drawing the designs, and William Morris used to go and chat to him on a Sunday as he drew them. And of course, they're illustrating the greatest medieval English writer, Geoffrey Chaucer. And so it speaks perfectly to Morris's campaign to revive the craftsmanship of the Middle Ages. Everything is illustrated all throughout. It's not just the Canterbury Tales. There's all Chaucer's works, Troilus and Crusade here, with these book titles opening out. And at the end, Kelmscott, woven into the white vine leaf decoration there. And at the end, like a medieval book, of course, a colophon telling us exactly when the book was finished. It was printed by me, William Morris, at the Kelmscott Press, Upper Mall, Hammersmith, finished on the 8th day of May, 1896. And a splendid piece of work it is. Now, the book was issued originally in a binding that you might think of as provisional. It's a simple binding, the original binding, of blue boards with a linen spine. The difficulty with that is it's such a large book, almost disappearing behind it, that binding simply doesn't work very well. And the idea was that people who wanted to could commission a better binding. This binding was one of about 50 similar bindings done by the Doves Bindery, who were next door to the Kelmscott Press in Chiswick Mall. And they were very much in tune with the Kelmscott Press and shared some of the same personnel. So there's one of about 50. It's a white pigskin binding, alum tawed pigskin rather than a tanned leather, which was a typical medieval leather used for medieval books before the invention of printing even. In fact, the design here was copied from a 1478 Coburger Bible that Morris had in his own collection, which you can see that that it's been customized so that it says Geoffrey Chaucer at the top and Kelmscott at the bottom. It's also signed inside the binding at the back, at the foot of the rear turn-in, the Dove's Bindery, 1897, which is one of the earlier ones. You can see also the detail of the gilt edges here, where the gilt has been applied onto the rough edges of the leaves, which is a rather nice, rather than a sort of machine finished edge. The natural edges of the paper are gilded. And then like a good medieval book, it has clasps to keep the book closed. Burne-Jones called the book a pocket cathedral, it's so full of design. And this copy with its matching binding really is a superb example of the finest book of the Kelmscott Press. There's a full description of the book on our Peter Harrington website, where you'll find contact details if you'd like to talk about this book or any other.